My question, let me start with my question, then put the context. The question is, what is the Thabo Mbeki School doing practically to assist with this outrolling of Pan-Africanism or whatever education that there is? And I say that because in this room, I'm an attorney, there are civil servants here, there are business people, people watching or people that will be watching this are also coming from private sector, wherever. What is it that we can do to assist with practically implementing whatever programs? Now, Mr. Max did say that there are 30 pillars, and perhaps what I expected was maybe an explanation or just the list of these are the 30 programs that we have, and a call for us to come through. Because like Mr. President said very perfectly, is that the African solutions will come from us, the African people. And we are here, we are available, but we don't know what to do. We don't know what the agenda is. And thank you, Mr. President, for setting that agenda. We just now need the agenda points so that we can be in contact with the school to say that this is how we can assist, or this is what we are willing, or this is what we are already doing, and we require X and Y assistance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's get the last one. Let's get the last one. It was at the back. Yes, there. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last round in the interest of time.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lindo Tsibani. Greetings, Mr. President. Thank you for the privilege to draw from the wells of wisdom. Mine is more on I want to bring it to a personal level or to home, bring it home. Maybe just in context, maybe one of the contributing factors in the shift in the Pan-African focus is because we have been plagued by domestic issues. So it's very difficult to focus outside when your home is burning. And also, I just wanted to just pose a challenge to the foundations, and now that Mr. Polkwana has indicated what the whole arrangement was with regards to the national dialogue. The issue is that as African people, when we receive democracy, we're starting from a negative balance. So there's more to cover. During President Mbeki's administration, one of the things that we have learned, he was putting a culture of self-sufficiency as Africans, that we are capable. Unfortunately, after his administration, we suffered as a country. So we are not back to square one in terms of our mind transformation. So is it possible for our foundations and for our leaders to consider a new approach in terms of transforming the mind, rather than we keep pouring these opportunities? It's like we are pouring new wine into old wineskins, but the minds of the people are damaged. Is it not a time for us to look at other options in terms of the programs that we provide, either at the TM school or wherever we are given opportunity to educate the African child, that we should focus on transforming the mind more than giving people academics, but we need to transform the mind, that we create wealth and be able to retain it.
Thank you so much. Mr. President, that was the last question of the session. Over to you.
You know, when the late Victor Antony died, the jazz fanatics here will remember Victor. There was a memorial service in Johannesburg. And one of the speakers there was a jazz singer, also very important, Sylvia Mtunyelwa from Cape Town. And so during her speech, she says that when she got the news that Victor had passed away, she phoned the Department of Arts and Culture, National, to tell them that she had just received the news that Victor Ntoni had passed away, so that they could then discuss with her what to do about the funeral. So she says she put this matter, this is what has happened, talking to some official, the Department of Arts and Culture. And after she had explained, the official says to her, "You said Victor who?" Senior official at Arts and Culture did know that Victor Ntoni. That tells you something about the issues that you are raising. That for many, many years, I think at the government level, we have not quite known what we do with regard to the Department of Arts and Culture. And that's why you would find a senior official not knowing who Victor Ntoni was. It's a much deeper problem. So rather than go into that history, I'm glad you raised the question, because in the context of discussing the national dialogue, this is one of the questions that arose. That here is an opportunity to get the people in the creative world to address the nation on the challenges. You know, Ringo Madlingo says to me that part of the problems that he was facing is that the recording companies are insisting that each time you compose a song, it must be about love. Can't be about anything else. And Victor says, but music is critically important in the process of nation building and so on. But I want to write about that. But the record company said, no, write about love. And he says, never mind, you see those divorces that are taking place, but write about love. I'm saying that it's a very interesting and important sector, because in the preparations for the national dialogue, we've agreed that the creative world must be properly be represented here. There's a particular challenge that arises because these are musicians, dancers, poets, theater people, painters, sculptors. This is all the world of the creative arts. Do you form one delegation? Can you? Or different delegations, but it's critically important that that sector must be represented to address exactly the questions that you are raising. Because the answers have not come for the last 30 years from the government side. But I think with an input like that from the creative artists themselves about what is to be done, perhaps the country will be on the way to addressing the challenges that you are addressing. There is work that is going on. I know the artists are meeting in order to say that how do we get ourselves together and what are the issues that need to be addressed? What is it that we agree upon? So the matter is on the agenda. I'm not very familiar with the Bella Act, except watching the media. They complained about 2 paragraphs in the Bella Act. So So I then looked at it. One of them, it says, as I recall it, you might correct me, the school governing bodies will have a right to decide on language of instruction for the school, subject to approval by the government, the provincial authority. So what will be decided is, in fact, a recommendation. And that with regard to appointment of staff, same. The school governing body has got authority, subject to approval by the government authorities. These are the two of the changes. When I've asked, why do we need these changes? The answer I've received has been, I'm not claiming that this is a comprehensive review, but a part of the answer I've received is the population settlements are changing. So the people move. Instead of staying in this area, they move to another and so on. As a result of which, the issue of medium of instruction in a particular school changes because the population in the area of capture of the school changes. And therefore, that's why you need a body beyond the school governing body, which has oversight over what is happening in the area, which is able to intervene. To say, with regard to language, you've got to change language because this area has now acquired a different set of people. That's the argument I've received. Now, I haven't said this publicly, I'm saying it now for the first time. You know, I now put on my ANC cap. And I say to myself, you know, this is a law of general application. Now take Naledi Township in Soweto. Let us say, I'm not saying that's the case, but let us assume that the school governing body in Naledi says the school or schools here, or this particular school, medium of instruction will be Setswana, because the population largely is Tswana speaking. The law then says, subject to approval by the educational authorities. Now, the educational authorities might very well say, agreed, add Xhosa also. Because there's been some population movement, there's some Xhosa speaking people in Naledi, close to the school. That is what I think the law provides for. And I'm saying now, putting on my ANC cap, you know, I say to myself, you know, it's an article of faith. The people shall govern. As Max was saying just now, the people are sovereign. It doesn't sit comfortably with me that the school governing body in Naledi, the people, take a decision, medium of instruction is Setswana, and a bureaucrat intervene to countermand them. Doesn't sound right. If we say we authorize the people to decide what should be the medium of instruction in the school, let it be the people who decide. Not a Thabo Mbeki, who sits in some bureaucratic office, who countermands the masses of the people. Can't be right. If there are problems of population movement, as a result, then you have challenges. that you now actually have 10% of the people of population of Naledi is Xhosa speaking. Find a way of dealing with that. You can't do it by countermanding the voice of the people, by getting officials to countermand the voice of the people. So, and that would relate also to the appointment of officials. So to the extent that the Bila Act puts as supreme government bureaucrats to decide language policy for schools, I don't think that can be correct. How you solve the problem, I don't know. I think you could actually put it in the law to say that in instances where the wrong things of this thing happen, they would be illegal. Then that's a matter. You then also have the intervention of the courts to decide the matter. Not a bureaucrat sitting in some office. So I think that's what part of my problem. As the matter was explained, laws of general application, and sometimes people say, no, we're dealing with these Afrikaners who are resisting integration of their schools. I'm saying, but it's the laws of general application. This matter will apply to the families in Naledi, in the same way that it will apply to families in Waterkloof in Pretoria. How we solve the problem is not this way. That's what I think. I don't know what else there is in the Bila Act. I looked only at these provisions because it seemed to me that was what was being complained about. With the last matter, which was raised about what is the school doing about specific programs to reinforce the Pan-African spirit and all that and so on. Rather than ask Professor Paswana to come back to speak about that, I think Professor Paswana, maybe we need a communication policy to be able to answer that question, which was posed, not tonight, but in our communication about what is the school offering and how is it answering the question that she was posing. What is it that you do that empowers us as citizens to contribute to this Pan-African perspective? I think it should be part of the communication system of the school, so that the public understands better what it is specifically that the school offers in the context of the question that was being posed. Everybody looks very hungry. It's almost 5 to 6. Thanks for coming and thanks for the patience. We'll meet again. Thanks.